Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Intellivision game Night Stalker. This game is probably best described as a survival game that incorporates elements from a few different genres, including top-down shooters and maze chase games. I guess if Pac-Man and zombies got together and made babies, it would look something like this. Anyway, this game was produced by Mattel and released for their console in 1982. Now, the more observant of you might be thinking, wait, you don't own an Intellivision. You'd be right, I'm actually playing this on the Intellivision Lives compilation for the PlayStation 2. I know some of you might not approve of using emulation. I know it's not as authentic as playing on an actual Intellivision using an Intellivision controller, but I think they ported it pretty well, so my comments are still valid. According to the production notes, programmer Steve Pantera used to enjoy building robots in his spare time and decided to make a game involving robots. But in this game, instead of building them, you've got to destroy them before they shoot you. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Depth isn't one of the game's strong points. Also patrolling the game are bats and spiders, which won't kill you outright, but temporarily paralyse you, leaving you vulnerable to attack. As you'd expect from this kind of game, the difficulty level does gradually increase, with stronger robots appearing as your score increases. You only get about half a dozen bullets before you have to reload, and only one of your bullets can be on screen at a time, so you can't run and gun. This isn't Metal Slug. You've got to be stealthy and efficient with your ammo usage. If you time it right, you can kill two birds with one stone. Well, kill two robots with one bullet actually. Once you use up all your ammo, you've got to reload by running over a flashing gun icon that appears somewhere in the maze. This is often the most dangerous part of the game, as you may have to evade a number of enemies to rearm yourself. The object of the game is to get as high a score as possible, and once you lose all your lives, it's game over. As you can probably tell, Night Stalker isn't exactly revolutionary gameplay-wise, but it's still enjoyable and can be quite tense as you desperately try to dodge bullets hurtling towards you. Probably won't win many awards for innovation, but it still offers some solid gameplay, and for that reason I give the gameplay 8 out of 10. The graphics don't blow you away either, although the decision to set the game at night justifies the dark and somewhat dull appearance of the background. The sprites also look decent. You can clearly tell what's meant to be the bats and which ones are the robots, for example. Taking this into account, I give the graphics 7 out of 10. The background music for Night Stalker is just one note over and over again. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds incredibly repetitive, but it actually does a good job of reflecting the dark mood of the game. Sound effects are pretty basic, but it would be unrealistic to expect the kind of high-definition explosions we're treated to in modern games, and I think the developers did the best they could given the Intellivision's limitations. Therefore, I give the audio 8 out of 10. I think the controls are the main area where playing on the PS2 might be slightly inferior to playing on an actual Intellivision, because the DualShock 2 is obviously nothing like the telephone-style controller used with Mattel's system. However, I think they managed to map the buttons pretty well with this game, as the 4 action buttons correspond to the 4 directions in which you can shoot, and the D-pad or left analog stick controls your character's movement. However, there have been occasions where the controls haven't been as responsive as I'd like. I'm not sure if this is due to emulation problems, a fault with the controller, or an issue in the game itself, but it does detract a little from the experience. The controls get a 7 out of 10 from me. The main replay value comes from trying to beat your own high score, though I question whether you'd want to keep coming back for more, since the simplistic nature of Night Stalker means once you've played it a couple times, you've pretty much experienced all it has to offer. Sure, it's fun for a few minutes or so, but would I want to play it again and again in a marathon session? Probably not. I'd give Night Stalker 6 out of 10 for lasting appeal. Overall, I would say Night Stalker is a pretty run-of-the-mill, but nevertheless enjoyable game. There's nothing in this game that really jumps out at you and says, this game's awesome, but there's nothing that really sucks about it either. From what I've seen online, this isn't the cheapest game out there, particularly if you want it boxed, and I'm not sure the game justifies the £30 asking price on Amazon. What I would recommend is you pick up Intellivision Lives, which is available on Xbox, PS2, GameCube, DS, PC and Mac, as it's a great introduction to the Intellivision library. Overall, Night Stalker gets 7 out of 10. Not bad, but not great either. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll put up another video soon. Bye.